Being a part of BAMS Fest has allowed me to see the vast opportunity in this local scene in Boston. There's a lot of sectors of the arts that already are here in the city. So I think that being a part of BAMS Fest has allowed me to understand the inner workings of how arts impacts and moves within a city ecosystem.
I started BAMS Fest basically through my college experiences in Philadelphia. I love the city, it's great, it's got an artsy culture scene, and I participated in 2 different internships that changed my life and really persuaded me that events and festivals were the pipeline for talent, convening community, and exploring creative imagination. So I came home to Boston and looked around and recognized there was not a festival that really centered on and elevated Black artists, creative entrepreneurs, and what Black artistry has contributed to the city's narrative identity. I started to understand I had to create smaller events and opportunities for cultural exchange and artistic expression and access to arts and culture for Black and brown people over a course of time. And so for the first 3 or 4 years, we would do anywhere from 6 to 12 events a year, garnering the support and trust of our community about our ability to be able to actually produce a large-scale festival.
It's interesting when you think about the narrative that you hear about Boston in the mainstream media. You know, you hear things about racism in Boston, the rigidity of the people, and one of the main things I think BAMS Fest has done is completely, pulled the wig off of that. I feel like the legwork that Catherine and the entire BAMS Fest team has done over the past decade has really shown that there's a real appetite for these types of events and these types of programs and, music that is really supporting local artists, that is supporting local entrepreneurs and is really investing in the community.
My relationship being involved with BAMS Fest has solidified my practice and being able to have a platform to give back and stand up for what Black Boston is about. There's so many things that we have memories of, and there's so many ways that when we go other places, people don't believe we live this far up north. So BAMS is definitely the crest that I rock so proud when it comes down to being able to do things that are visible and celebrated, performed, curated, and put together by everybody that looks like this. So it's a powerful movement.
My impression was I was just finally happy to see that we had something. And by we, I mean like that Black people or Black woman, from what I was seeing at the time, was running something that represented the culture, represented the people, represented the city in a real meaningful way.
I see BAMS Fest as being a North Star for all people, but specifically for radical imagination for people of color. And that how that's supported is where BAMS Fest inserts itself. We're not here to tell you how to create, but we are here to holistically support you in the infrastructure, the tools, the knowledge, the space, the environment, the people you need to know to be your most authentic and creative self. Because the majority of us consume it.
It challenged me to be able to take each time and make it count and not give it all in one spot, but just to lead a trail to what would be the bigger event, the bigger fest, and just put on anybody that I've been exposed to or saw to everyone else that needs to see it.
When you support BAMS Fest, you support a community of individuals who live here, who are a part of the community, who care about seeing change and being a part of that change, who are thinking about the individuals who live here, are thinking about the communities who often feel othered, who don't see themselves in physical spaces, in programming, in digital content.
When you support BAMS Fest, you support Black women, artists, arts and culture, changing the paradigm, changing the landscape of art in Boston and beyond, arts entrepreneurship, women, Black women. You support growth.
When you support BAMS Fest, you're supporting Boston artists making a statement. BAMS.
People should support BAMS Fest if you are committed to equitable change for all people. We're at a pivotal moment in our generation, our time, where if we don't start valuing arts and culture as a norm in our life, it's gonna look very dull in the future.